Again, I'll be on taking questions through Adam's presentation, but coming up now is Adam Kowalt, Manager of Customer Service for Bonobos. Adam's been a part of the customer experience and service team at Bonobos since 2012. He's now the Manager of Customer Service, and he oversees the Bonobos Ninjas, which is the in-house customer service team at Bonobos. He's gone through 3 Cyber Mondays, and right now he's going to tell you a little bit more about how his team prepares and gets through Cyber Monday. So, Adam, please take it away.
Cool. Thanks, Carl, and thanks, Bill. Can everyone, my screen showing up okay for everybody?
Looks good here, yeah.
Yep.
Great. Okay. So basically I work for Bonobos.com. For those of you who don't know, we're a men's e-commerce clothing retailer, sell everything from pants, sweaters, shoes, everything that you can possibly think of, but we also try and make it really fun, really easy, and one of the ways that we do that is through the ninjas. You can see in that picture there that this was actually taken on Cyber Monday of 2014. You can see that little hat. The basic premise, and I'll get into a little bit more details of how we do it, is we get the entire company on service for a day to take care of our incoming volume, which is generally about 10 times higher than what it would be on a normal day. So that's someone from product chatting away with a customer. We currently just use live chat, phones, and emails, nothing else at this point. So I've actually been with Bonobos right when we started looking at Olark. So this is just a little brief history of Olark and our relationship with them. So we started preliminary testing with Olark in December of 2012, and then we launched in January of 2013. But then after 2 months, all of the wonderful features that Bill showed you guys, like chat operators, we hadn't quite figured out yet. So we had ninjas chatting with 14 customers at a time, and we noticed that the quality of our chats weren't extraordinary. Wasn't what we held in mind for our customer service. So we took it off and we did a deep dive into everything chat-based, did a little bit more homework, and then turned live chat back on in May with operator settings and limits at 3. So right now, if there's a ninja online, they can only talk to a max of 3 customers. We've toyed with potentially playing with that operator limit and have experimented from time to time. We feel pretty good about 3, but aren't against necessarily playing with that number and upping it so that we can just chat with more customers at a time. And as you can see, in Cyber Monday of 2013, the first year that we actually had chat on for one of these big volume days, chat was 53.2% of our contacts, which was a huge, huge, huge win. And then the next year, again, we were right in there with 52.8%. This was with the entire company helping us out. But generally, because of the bandwidth, we don't always have the entire company on service to help us out. And because of our bandwidth on emails, phones, and chat, as a channel, it's about 20 to 30% of our total contacts on a given week. We've got, we look at how powerful chat is in terms of getting orders through. So we think, that generally the amount of people who talk to us on a given week or quarter, we think that about 38% of those people who actually chat with us end up making an order, and we don't think we know that. Obviously, that's a weighted stat because we're not A/B testing it against people who aren't chatting with us and making an order. But obviously, that metric in itself is powerful. If you chat with us, you're gonna feel confident enough to go all the way. So, I mean, in that sense, we're always looking at live chat and how to improve the experience, whether that be from experimenting with different operator settings, experimenting with shortcuts or co-browsing, and always just looking at, the customer's experience via chat. Did they make a purchase? Were they happy after the interaction with a ninja? We also have ninjas categorize their chats after chatting with a customer. Olark integrates with Desk.com, which is our main CRM platform, and that's sort of our big hub for understanding our contact trends. So we've used chat in a huge way, and I'll get to this in a little bit. basically to understand why customers want to chat with us versus why they want to call us and why they want to email us. And what we've found is that customers want to chat to us predominantly before they make a purchase, not afterwards. So it's really great. Chat's nothing but awesome for us in our business. So yeah, that's the short history of us with Olark. And so this is just a little chart to hopefully give you guys a sense of chat and its impact on our customer service. So you can notice back in Q1 of 2012, when we didn't have chat on during that whole year, you can see as our business grew, our emails and phone calls specifically were growing and growing and growing. But then right when we brought chat back on to when we introduced chat in Q1 of 2013, our phone calls began to dip and they began to decrease and decrease. And our emails kind of stayed constant. We think that if we hadn't introduced the live chat, that email would have rose and rose, which is a tough contact for us because of our emphasis on the customer experience. We don't have canned responses, nor do we really have an aggressive ticketing system. We want ninjas to write personal notes to customers. So an email will take them longer than a traditional call center. So we always wanted to keep that email number down so that we could still have wonderfully crafted, really exquisite email interactions with customers. And then just a couple of other huge points here. You can notice in Q4 of 2013 and Q4 of 2015 that chat really saved us in terms of an email number as well. We were about level in 2013 with chats to emails, and we were about level in 2014. The only reason why that phone number is so high in 2014 is that we basically did a complete site redo then. So chat, it's powerful. We really, really love it. I think the craziest day that we've ever experienced is Cyber Monday. You've got 50 to 60 people who don't have customer service training chatting with customers in real time. I think Olark is great in terms of its user interface and just really, really easy to use and allows us not to have to do too much training on that platform before the big day in question. I guess I would say when we don't have the entire company at our disposal to chat with customers, the biggest challenge for us, I think, is we're in full control of when we have chat on the website and when we don't. And from years of sort of fiddling with what the best way to utilize chat is, when our email and phone volume is considerably higher, is not to turn it off to try and conquer these higher than usual incoming emails and phone calls, but to actually keep chat on, and if anything, increase our chat operators. What that does is deflect our phone contacts and our email contacts. So I would say one piece of advice is keep chat on, and if anything, go against your better judgment and put more chat operators on so that we can handle it that way. All right. So just a quick kind of glance at chat and what we've learned from it, and then I'll breeze through this one. So those top 4 contacts right there are our main contacts on live chat. Customers asking us questions about products, when the product will get back in stock. They want us to tell them about what fit to buy, and they want us to tell them what size to buy. All pre-purchase, all really great. On that chart down there, you can see customers more than likely in a really dominant way chat us from the product page, and then it kind of peters off to the home page and our category pages, and then the help page and account and checkout. All right. So Cyber Monday, it's a huge day for us. On a normal day, we have probably anywhere between 2 and 4 agents on live chat, but then with a special promotion day that we necessarily wouldn't throw the whole company on, we'll get management on, and we'll have about 4 to 8 agents on chat during peak time periods. But then, like I've mentioned several times, on Cyber Monday, we have anywhere from 20 to 60 agents on live chat at a time. We had 53.2% of our total contacts, which was 1,700 chats in a day in 2013, and 1,996 chats on Cyber Monday in 2014. Really, really, really phenomenal. We left the day and the queue on both of those days, our email queue, close to closed, really allows us to succeed for the rest of the week when customers have all of those post-purchase questions where they're more likely to call or email. So how far in advance do we start prepping for these high volume days? Well, probably around September. When we know when marketing wants to pull a promotion and maybe generate sales in a more customer contact type way, we go pretty aggressive with making sure that our management team and our ninjas are prepared, and we adjust the schedule accordingly. For Cyber Monday, we'll start in September. We'll start training the company up gradually so that they aren't completely clueless on the day in question. We're actually right now in the midst of training the entire company in short hour training sessions, and then it's just go time. I think at our place we've got a pretty loose culture, to say the least. So it's a ton of fun. Everybody from the company is asking us questions. They're taking insights from chatting with customers into their own worlds and their own jobs. It's actually something that we want to consider doing company-wide throughout the entire year. Is how do we get different people from different lanes chatting with the customers a little bit more in the hopes that it affects their day-to-days. So as a manager, I prepare. I manage the whole company-wide whole ordeal, as well as we have an ops team who schedules the ninjas, and they're kind of looking at our peak traffic times and our peak traffic trends during the day. And so we're staffing chat up accordingly to how we think basically our highest site traffic is going to be during the day. And that's really an effective way to staff chat, is just when are people the most likely to be shopping. Great, we're going to throw 10 more people on from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. when the sale's ending. That's pretty much it for us. Carl, I don't know if you have any questions or if anyone else has any questions.
I didn't get any questions in from the question section. I guess I have one question for you. We were looking at those numbers on your last slide, and the amount of traffic you receive on Cyber Monday is tremendous. And I guess I was wondering, when you're in the midst of that rush, let's say someone has to get up and use the restroom, or someone has to do something, how do you as a team cover each other when it's that busy?
Yeah, that's a good one. There are a couple of ways that we can do it. Generally, it'll be, if someone's in the middle of a chat, they'll use Olark's functionality to just transfer a chat over to somebody. But kind of what Bill hinted at, we want as human an interaction with our customers as possible. So we'll encourage the agent or the ninja, if the conversation's going a long time, to say, hey, I just got to step out of the room for 2 seconds. You cool? And if the customer's cool, they generally are. If we've already established a pretty great relationship with them, then they're good to hang on. We also use the not accepting new chats feature on Olark a lot. We put a huge emphasis on quality. So if an agent even feels overwhelmed chatting with 3 customers, they have their own power to basically click the button like you would in GChat that makes them not available, so they can just really concentrate on that one customer. And that's proven successful for us in the past. We've got a relatively small team, 23 total, but very rarely do we have 23 ninjas in all at the same time. I think the most we get is probably 15 or 16. So our room's small. Everyone's chatting with each other verbally. So if someone's chatting with a customer and they're desperate for a bathroom or a sandwich or a coffee, they can just pass the chat on kind of verbally that way.
Brilliant, thanks. This actually leads well into a question from Bethany, who asks, are team members designated solely to chat, or are they also answering emails and or phone calls?
Yeah, so we currently just staff, if you're on chat, you're on chat and chat alone. Even if we're having a lower than normal day, then what we want to do is try and get agents off of chat and onto different tasks, as opposed to just having the same amount of agents staffed at a given time with nothing to do. So we are very much, if you're on emails, you're on emails and you shouldn't be getting interrupted. If you're on phones, you're on phones, and we'll give you quicker cases to resolve. And if you're on chat, make those chats as amazing as you possibly can, and don't concentrate on other things.
Brilliant, thanks. Alfonso, who's listening in, asked maybe a non-Cyber Monday question, but was asking if you've ever tested changing the message at the top of your chat to get more engagement, and if so, what's worked or what hasn't worked?
Sure. The one thing that we felt that we found successful was having a targeted or a pop-up chat show up on the help page. So if the customer is lingering on our help page for longer than 30 seconds and they can't seem to find the answer to what they're looking for, our chat box will pop up and it'll say, hey, notice that you've been lingering on the help page for a little longer than we're used to seeing. Do you want to chat with Ninja? Other than that, it's mainly just a philosophical thing that I think drives us in terms of whether we want to have chats pop up for customers on different pages. We haven't. We're very much of the thinking right now that if the customer wants to chat with us, then we just need to make sure that we're available for them, and that we're not going to force ourselves onto their experience. So if they want a seamless, uninterrupted experience, then for sure, go ahead. But we've played with different products as well, trying to make chat a little bit more prominent on that way, and it was successful. And customers are receptive to the fact that they're struggling on the help page, and just being able to get an answer to their question there.
Excellent. One other question.
Hope that answers your question. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One other question. I know Bill was actually talking to someone the other day about how to handle difficult customers and how to maybe turn an interaction with a difficult customer into something that at least ends in a favorable manner. Any tips or any experiences you've had in dealing with a customer complaint or a customer who's unhappy, and any tips you have for just trying to help them to a better place?
Yeah. Well, specifically on live chat, we kind of try and gear our ninjas towards this type of thinking. One, try and clear out all other possible chats if you can, and close them out so that this customer has your full attention and you're not getting overwhelmed. Our best tip is just set really, really, really transparent and realistic expectations. So we've found that a lot of times when people are on GChat, you send like one sentence and then you click enter, and then you send another sentence and then you click enter. But if it's a customer who's really irate or is really aggressive, sometimes it's better for our team to take a little bit longer in responding to them so that we get them the right answer. So we'll say, hey sir or ma'am, understand your frustrations here. Just give me a couple of minutes. I want to make sure I get a full idea to you in one chat. And then the ninja will type for a minute to two, and then send the full idea. That sets the expectations, and two, allows the ninja to really take their time, not feel overwhelmed, and get the customer the right answer. And we found relatively that, even if the answer is not what the customer is looking for, they're receptive to that message, but it does allow us to take control over the situation rather than the customer taking control over the situation and bullying us into a place where we don't necessarily want to be bullied.
Fair enough. Last question, then I think that's it. When Cyber Monday is finished and the dust is settled, what do you do to reflect, or what do you look back on to see how the day went and what worked and what didn't?
Yeah, we do a lot. We do a lot of soul searching. One of the ways that we look at we're obviously comparing our chat metrics year over year on the day in question. So as our business grows, we obviously want to see more in terms of the body of chats. But relatively the same percentage of chats across the different channels. So we measure our success that way. Was chat the most dominant channel that customers wanted to reach out to us on? Very much want that. We'll look back at our categories and the way that we categorized our chats, and ultimately try and get a sense of, what was the story on that day? What were we utilizing chat in the best way? Were we providing the best experience possible? What were customers having a problem with, and were we able to get them? Was chat the right avenue to get them taken care of? And then on our end, on the Ninja end, we're always looking at chat transcripts and reviewing them internally, just to make sure that they're up to the standard that we hold ourselves to. So we'll do a huge deep dive into the chat transcripts from Cyber Monday, and find ways of following through with the rest of the company, show them some great chats that they did, make them feel proud of their work, and put a cherry on top, so to speak, in that way. And then we'll look at our Ninjas chats and just make sure that we are setting the right example with our customers, and following up with any chat transcripts that we think necessarily aren't fulfilled all the way. And those are basically the biggest ways that we measure our success. Obviously, we never want the chat box to disappear on the website. So we'll have people looking at the olark.com dashboard and make sure that there are always agents available to accept chats. And the minute that dashboard says 0, then we know it's time to flex agents onto chat, so that customers have the opportunity to talk to us.
Very cool. We actually had one last question come in from Bianca, who was asking, what are the rush hours for you on chat? So I guess maybe on non-Cyber Mondays, on like a regular day, when do you find to be the busiest hours of the day?
Sure. It works kind of in three ways. We have like a very quick morning rush, generally after a mailer is sent, so that's from 9:30 to about 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Then we have another rush, which is the West Coast customers waking up and getting to work and getting their emails, so that's between 12 and 12:30. And then we have really just the 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Rush. So that's kind of West Coast customers on their lunch breaks browsing the internet, and then East Coast customers probably not working and doing some online shopping. So those are our biggest periods in terms of live chat. It does die down a little bit after our like critical mass business hours, which is after 6 p.m. So we definitely try and staff chat up appropriately during those time periods.
Excellent. Well, Adam, thanks so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. This has been really helpful and informational, and thank you very much. And Bill, thank you also. Great reminders for live chat in the upcoming holiday rush. Adam, if anyone has questions for the Bonobos Ninjas, can they tweet to you at Bonobos Ninjas on Twitter? Is that okay?
They sure can. Yeah.
Very cool. So thank you everyone for joining us today. This concludes the Cyber Monday webinar for Tuesday. If you're joining us again tomorrow, we'll be starting at about the same time tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll be joined by James Stillian of Man Crates, who will be giving his perspective on handling busy days on live chat for customer support and service. Everyone again on the call today will be getting a follow-up email with some more information on some Cyber Monday materials we've put together and other opportunities that we have available to you. And again, we'll be publishing the recording of this webinar on Thursday on the Olark blog, so you can take a look for that as well. Again, thank you everybody. Really appreciate your time today, and good luck this Cyber Monday and holiday shopping season. Take care.